Hello guys, I hope you are doing pretty fucking dope. And I know it's been very much time that I uploaded my last video, so I was really busy with the schedule. And so without wasting any other time, let's get right into the video. So in this video, we will create a section of this award of the month website, which is pretty fucking cool. So here is the section, and we'll create this section. So as you can see that when you hover over this list, the images are changing with smooth some time of transition. As you can see, the images are not changing now. I don't know why, but it changes sometimes and it does not. So I have created a similar version of this. So let me show you that. So I have created this. As you can see that when I hover over this, the images are changing with fade in effect. So this looks very much cool, and it will. So if you are building your portfolio, then you can use this section on your project section or any other section you like, that to list any types of items in your project. So this is the thing that we will build today. Now let's get right into the coding. So as you can see that I am on my VS Code editor. So now let's create a route for that particular section. So what I will do is I will, inside this F directory, I will create another folder called. So I will create this folder as projects section, so that you can showcase your project here, or you can name anything you like. So inside this project section, I will create a file called page.tsx, and I will rafc this. And now if I save this, the default export is not a React component in page export. Okay, so you have to export default this rafce. Now if I save this, as you can see that our route has been successfully created. So now what I will do is I will give it a create a div and give it a height of screen. So I will create the whole code in this section. So I will give a class name. I'm using tailwind to style. I will use, and we will use pure CSS to build that. So we will not use any JavaScript. We will use pure CSS on this section, so that it can be rendered as server component in Next.Js also, which can be more performant. So I will give it a height of screen, and I will give a BG of gray like 300, and let me see what does it look like. So it is looking nice. It is looking nice, and I will give it a padding y of 5. Sorry, padding y of 5. And I will create a heading section h1 tag, and I will give it a featured works or your projects my or you can give it like my projects, and I will style this h1 tag. I'll make it little bit, and you can style this h1 like this. I will give a 4 axle or 3 axle, and text of black, font of semi bold, and font of how many font are present in this project. I mean Anton font. So there is Anton font. So I will use and font Anton, or you can use any font as your preference. I will make it uppercase, and px of I will give it like 120 px, and I will make the text on center. And let me see what does it look like. So as you can see that this section has been rendered. I think the font is little bit of too bold, so I will give it a font of normal, just like this, and it is looking nice. It is looking nice. So after that, what I will do is, firstly I will create I will format this. Firstly we have to create a list, then on hover on that list we'll have to display our image with some transition. So there were many lists. So what I will do is I will create a first list. I will create a list one, and then I will use dynamic data to map that array. So now what I will do is I will create another div here, just like this, and I will give it a something of margin like 28, so that proper spacing is maintained. And inside this div I will create another div, and I will give it a class name of I will not give any class name right now. Firstly, the BG will be transparent, and inside this div I will create another div. This will be our content div. So I will write it like this content, and I will give it a class name of flex justify between, justify between item center, and I will give it a border of bottom and border of white. I will give padding y of 12, and I will give it a width of 80% and mx of auto so that it will be on center. And inside this I will create another heading. I will give it a h2 tag, and I will create something like agency developer, agency developer, and I will give it a class name of text of 2xl and text of black, font of medium, and I'll give it just like this. And if I save this, as you can see that our one list has been created and it has a border on the bottom. So if I give it a background of BG of orange 500, as you can see that it covers all of my screen. That's why I created this div, and I nested another div inside that parent div. So after creating the heading, let me create the description also, and then we will create our some transition. So after h2 tag I will give another div, and I will make it a class name of flex, flex of call, and gap y of 2. And inside this I will create a span tag. Inside span tag I will create a description here. I'll give it a class name of text gray 500 and text of sm, and I will create something like lorem, just like this. And if I save this, as you can see that our description is present here. I will format this code. Now after creating description, I will create another tag for our button tag, and I will create a button called view project. And inside this I will give it a class, I will give it a class name of flex, item of center, gap x2, and font of normal and uppercase, just like this. And as you can see that our button has been created. So I will create font of light, just like this, and it is looking nice, and it is looking nice. So for the background I have a color right here. For the background I have this hex value we'll be using right here. I will give it a hashtag just like this, and the background will only be visible while hovering. And if I save this, as you can see that it is looking nice. In hover you can see that right here. And for the text also I will give it a text of gray like 200, I mean 6 700. Let me see what does it look like. Okay, it is looking nice, it is looking nice. So now what I will do is, if I hover over this div, our image should be come in. So if I hover over this div, our image should be present here. So for that, what I will have to do is I will have to create a image tag, and if I hover the parent div, then the image should come in, fade in easily. So before that, as you can see that the hover is very jerky and it is very instant. So to resolve that issue, what I will do is I will give a transition of color, and I will give a duration of 500, so that the transition will be smooth, just like this. Okay, it is looking good. Now let's create the image part. So to create the image part, I will have to enclose this div. I will have to enclose this content div, and I will give it a class name of relative, so that the image will be absolutely position relative, and I will give it a class name of group. And after that I will create like this image here, and I will create another div, and I will give it some width and height to this div, width of 300 px, height of something like 340, and I will give something like bg of lo 500, and I will give position of absolute, and the initial will be top of 1 by 2 and minus translate of y 1 by 3. Okay, and I will give some corner radius to it, so I'll give rounded, or even it rounded just like this. And if I save this, as you can see that the allo div has come here. So the problem here is it is already coming here, so I have to initially hide this allo div, and it will only come after I hover this div. So to do that, what I will do is I will give it an initial value of opacity 0. So this is all of the initial values that we are giving to this div. So to while hovering the parent div, to change its properties, what we can do is you can use group hover tag. So you can do like group hover opacity 100, opacity 100, just like this. So what we are doing here is initially the opacity is 0, and when we hover this group div, then the opacity will be 100. Now the initially the opacity is 0, and if I hover over here, you can see that the opacity is 100. So this is how you can create this effect. So now our effect has not been completed yet. So to complete it, what we can do is I will give it a some type of transition of all, and I will position that div correctly, and I will give a duration of like 700, so that it will look really smooth. And in group hover, when it is hover, the position will be minus translate of 1 by 2, which will be on center, and group hover from right will be 1 by 3, and the initial value will be from right 1 by 4. Now if I save this, now if I hover over this, as you can see that it is coming very much smoothly. And as you can see that if I hover over here, then it is kind of fluctuating, and this is trigger. So to because the initial image is present here, so if I remove this opacity 0 to 40, as you can see that initially our div is present here. So if I even hover here, the animation is trigger. So to resolve this issue, what you can do is you can add like pointer events none to this tip, so that whenever if you even if you hover over this tip, there will be no any pointer events, but if you over here, the animation will trigger. And I will make this opacity of 0. Now it is running smoothly. Now to add image, it is really smooth. I mean really easy. What you can do is add a image tag to it. Just like this, you can add image tag, image, just like this. And for the source, what you can do is I have already images here, image 1 2 3 4. I have these images already present here. So what I will do is I will use these 4 images uh, in my image tag. So what I will do is I will create source slash public slash source slash public slash image slash one dot image slash image one dot jpeg, and the width will be like 300, height will be 340, and class name will be it will have to take the parent div width and height. So what I will do is you will have to give widthful and heightful and rounded of lg, so that the image will be rounded. Now what you can do is you can also give all tag to it like floating image. Now if I save this code and if I hover over here, as you can see that the image is not being rendered because we have to remove this public directory. And if I save this, now if I hover over here, as you can see that the image is being rendered. So the image is little bit stressed. So to resolve that, what you can do is you can do like object cover. Object cover. Sorry, object object cover. If you do object cover, the image will be covered and the image will be not stressed. As you can see that it is running very much smoothly. So in your website there might be a list of different like 5 or 10 project you have to build, but to maintain the reusability of the code, you cannot just copy and paste this code 10 times if you have 10 projects. So you can do that, but that is not a good way to handle this situation too. So what we will do is we will create an array to map this list, and we will use this effect on that array. So I have already created an array for you. I'll just copy and paste this right here. So we have how many images? 4 images. So I will create uh, f- four data. I will remove this final image, and now what I will do is, so the title description is different here. So I will have to manage the image source right here. So our image source is here like this. First image is here. I will copy and paste the first image here, and the second image will be image 2. Image 2. The name of the second image 2, 3, image 3, image 4. Image 4, 3, image 4, just like this. Now if I save this, and now I'll have to do is I will use feature card here, and I will have to map this array. So to map this array, it is really simple. What you will have to do is inside this add a curly bracket, and you can use feature data dot dot map, and inside this will come item, and you will have to return that item. So to return that, this will be our looped div that we will be returning inside this array. And if I just format this, it will look good. Now I'll have to replace this static content with our dynamic content. So this content can be come with API or other things, or you can customize this as you like. So now what I will do is I will remove the title as item.title. I'll remove this description as item.description. Button will be same, and for the image source I will remove this source as item.image, just like this. And if I save this, as you can see that all of our project are being mapped, and if I hover over here, the images are being rendered simultaneously, and it looks good. So this type of animation are featured on award website, and you can integrate it in your portfolio or anything you like. And this is the full process of building this smooth animation effect while showcasing your project. And this is the end of the video, and I hope you like the video. And if you have any questions, you can drop on the comment section, so that I will reply your comments. So I think this is it for the today video, and I will see you in my next video.